to the Chinese. The anecdote I like to tell about Alan Dulles was the fact that they asked me to go up to the director's office and brief him on what was going on in Tibet. He says, now, where is Tibet? We stand up on a leather couch in his office and he has a National Geographic world map up there and he's pointing to Hungary and he thinks, is that Tibet? He said, no sir, it's over here where the Himalayas and
Tende jigana ane nami nasa na chu pala nene chungi ane shaji chinani ane jawara mo chen ane chu cheto ane popo cheto kala kani yogo shu shu popo cheto peya cheto yi pe ma cheto yi le zo lo do ane charani kaan jojo je pa tasa pa na cheto pa na ane tapshi chi ane pa ane cheto ane chu cheto pyu sara tende yege chunani
About every 24 hours, they would send us a message giving us their location, and we were able to take that material and then feed it into the intelligence bulletins that were kept the senior officials in the government informed as to the location, the actual location of the Dalai Lama on his escape. And so this had gone on for a better part of a week.
koko hadu ji jine ene jawa le pya tu den kye sons da de yin ji ni jang mi de je ko da ri ta ni di ne su de jawa le pye cho be cho shen shu ya de kan de je ne ja am de ji ni yo ba chi ni ju si di shu gu do se ni ma to su ma sa na ni ba ju no ne ta ra ne ne ya de ya chi kan yo ma le ni shi ma ba go sa ma ya ba ane ye ge de je kan ga ta ta zu de ba ta ni
And it was a Saturday night, and I got a call from the office and a message had come in, which was unusual. The Dalai Lama was asking for asylum. Well, this was a critical piece of information, and it had to be handled very quickly. And so I took that message and went down to my office, and it was after midnight at that time, and I called my boss and told him what it was, and he said, well, go ahead and send a message to India and to Delhi and let them proceed with what they can do. So I did that, and it was on the wire in less than an hour. And I came home, and about 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I got a message that the answer was back, and that Mr. Nehru had approved the asylum.
The Dalai Lama's decision to flee was his. He didn't team up with any of the people that we knew until 2 or 3 days en route, where one of the teams that had been dropped in before, one of the radio teams, then joined the escape party, and then were able to keep the American government informed as he went along in his progress. So that's another intelligence coup on the part of the minor one. I mean, we knew something the rest of the world didn't.
그래서 잠깐만 이제 도무지 버리노로 그 몸은 못 보여서 뭘보다 그것도 받아나 지금 고치에 있다가네 파모로나 저기 참데 에이 무치에 이러 말에 다지 이러 말에 아 저거 가보 마신 몸만 잡고 놀러 작품 소치기 아빠는 저기 갔다 칼 칼이 왜 이렇게 아니 나는 이슈까지 왜 생각을 누구에게 그러냐 이분들서 한번 누가 많이 시집 터쳐도 시집 터쳐도 왜 어려운지 해동져서 야를 같이 되나 더 나이 좀 이어가
한국에서는 당연히 모두를 라자유를 했지만 다 저로서 생기고만 당연히서 수다니 somze도 하사산에 조그랬다 제아만도 하사산에 저가 로켓에 저 라자금 지금 거기서 다 빼야 보내서 강가 가서 제대야 되시 다 근데 저기는 노트에서 라자유수 제자라들이 도서관에 마음을 거셔야 산에 강가고 들리서서
We were getting messages to the effect that we are as determined as ever to resist, but we cannot do it without significant inputs of troops and weapons, and basically they wanted us, I suppose, to come to their aid with an army, ideally. And that was never in the cards, and I think their disappointment was shared obviously by us simply because we knew it wasn't possible, and we understood at the same time that was their last hope. That's what they thought was their last hope of becoming free of the Chinese.
근데 제가 너무 재미가 타고는 이마트를 내가 또 재미가 모두 듣는 홍아 그렇게 들려서 수겠지. 걔는 이게는 본다고 자초부터 친구 따는 가거든요. 진짜 아메리카 가는 예와 제는 돌아서는 야가지 가대 용도 말했어. 근데 이마트를 제트 종아 용도 수게 용도 용도 본다라 때에 용도 찾아서 마셔. 모두가 마음대 노트를 정말 예시는 그야 sama 대충 통 가면님이 트이쇼이샤 중동은 되니서 첨부들도 가용사도 야용사요 말에 노트가 파고 지고도 거랑아서 자도 그래 신제 세계도 무세계도 아니 돌아 뭔가들도
we knew from overflight information that monitoring Chinese air flights that they had discovered Penbar. And the sad story is that very few chose to go and leave, and understandably so, and indeed that group came under merciless attack by the reinforcements. The Chinese came in with long-range artillery, they came in with aircraft, they bombed, and they captured thousands, or I think the more accurate statement is that they killed thousands and thousands and thousands and captured maybe a few hundred.
다들 지금도 되게 지금도 되게 카드 그래도 좀 못해 그때 사사리 그리고 사실은 저때 나가지고 저번에 어떤 기억이 미국 수준이 어떻게 타고 막 제가 그랬다 개미에 다 봐도 재미잖아요 왔다 어떤 잡고서 와서 거다야 혼자서 잡고서 와서 준성은 들은 거 뜻이잖아요 준성 와서 거다 딱 가서 메시지 그래서 봐서 되게 사타보다 뭐 세보이야 뭐냐 지금 민주가 되게 뭐 저기 뭐냐 전에 되게 말해서 나도 세보게 그랬어 근데 이제 그래서 내주자 아름다운 논의 그런 이야기를 기면 지지 통하고 내가 찾아서 바로 그 시절에 대부분 콜레를 가서 지시해서 세우 찾던 왜 걔는 걔는 무슨 서러운 거야
Well, the other sad part of that is no one had an accurate read on Tibet those early years. There was a golden opportunity there one time, and I honestly believe that it was changed, could have changed considerably. But the Chinese did the smartest thing. When they first came in, the first thing they did was build the road. Build the road. What was that for? Not for anything. It's to be able to get the troops in there. It was never expected they were going to come in the numbers that they did. And that was a poor reading on our part, somebody else's part. It was almost non-existent.
The idea was it was going to be kept a secret operation too, in many ways. That was foolhardy. It's hard to keep a secret in India. It's hard to keep a secret among anybody. The word got out, and instead of the level-weight control movement of 200 or 300 people, a couple thousand moved over there and suddenly moved over into Mustang, and we were confronted with a ready-made base and a ready-made problem.
Roland Hehon was a Gagarova. Gatane, they got the Dujin Huches. Roland had a penetrating culture, no song of the Dalai. Then they soon on a Kashich in York. If I finish transaction, in this week was painful noise. This soon, they shall be yours. Just a juggler. Omata don't you know, Mata go 원래 소망하고 대사지 주면 벌써 지지 니니 있는데 뭐 참조했어. 어디는 이제 칼라네 다 주면서 가지고 집봉 하는 마음 오늘 로마 우로에 쳐서서 가지고
Among the convoy's baggage, in effect, they found some very fascinating Chinese government documents, which the Tibetan resistance brought out and gave to our people, and we made it available to the U.S. intelligence community, and they were absolutely berserk, really, but it was wonderful material, because it was one of the few times we had some real, honest-to-goodness Chinese government official documents, and they weren't made up for us or anything like that, they weren't forgeries. And it showed that the Chinese communists were having trouble with their Great Leap Forward, and was having trouble with other parts of China, not just in Tibet. And it gave a very good insight as to what was going on inside of China. For the first time, we had some real good hard evidence.
The Tibetan document raid was one of the greatest intelligence hauls in the history of the agency. Here was sort of, in a way, it's terrible. You don't evaluate human lives in terms of return, but here was an actual product of these operations that could be sort of a demonstrable one, a benefit to the U.S. government. So that was a great help as far as maintaining support for these kind of operations.
가르스니 따치어도 마음이 보여 찾는 말이었어. 대저마자는 키구도 잠깐이었어. 기사는 말이지. 스타치어도 내주고 있어. 얘네가 두디만 해야 말이야. 그래. 뒤고 가서 하니 봤다고 그래. 더 고쳐가서 지금 했어도. 대지 가다서 때문에 되는 거. 야 맞아 된다고 많이 내가 돈 받아서 되니까 애니어서 잡아서 내가 아니 이 주변에 수수들이 공간을 지금 또 다시 안 돼. 데네슈 신저도 벽이 우슈남디 자원이 되어지는 또 있어. 주는 거지. 뭐가 티코라니스. 내가 무슨 뭐지 이거시. 이녀서 저 가서 왜 뭐가 됐어. 되게 거저 저는 다음에 가서 그 타라서 토저는 다음에 이거 장도 또 가서 보드 하고 예지 저기 못하는 시내가 시대만 저들이 마서 그 저잖아 말이 잘해 말을 듣는 거지 뭐뭐저 바라리서도 그네도 축구라지 축구 네 축구 야만이 축구도 봐줘 여기 기 공부를 따이 공부도 그가 구디 공부 카파로 그는 저번에 수 디지털 코스를 디지라서
was a different era. I think he pulled out a Mustang because of basically the operational utility was no longer there. It was pulling out the support for His Holiness, and then it was, you know, we were starting a rapprochement with China, and it was a new, if not made a direct Chinese request, it was the U.S. relations with Tibet were something that would be certainly considered by that time to be somewhat of an impediment to relations, to the close relationship that the government was trying to initiate with Beijing.
The CIA told me, and the Chinese government made a condition to be not unable for the United States to establish diplomatic relations with China. They made a condition, two conditions. One, the United States must cut off their diplomatic relationship with Republic of China, Taiwan. Second, the United States must cut off all the connections and all assistance for the Tibetans, including Master. But then, politics are politics. You never know. Sooner or later they're going to betray you. Because Americans are giving me verbal assurances saying if Dalai Lama comes to India, they will support India's Tibetan independence until Tibet regained independence.
나라가 빠져 있었어. 다른 기적이 내려가고 다 민마다 세다자는 지마지 맞춰서. 다 지나니 미시라고. 그러니까 민마다 세다니 맞지. 되네 투가 맞지. 다가 저기 디슈지. 나서 다 쳐들어가. 다니 디 나서 디스지는 좀 말했어. 다가 저기 그 타보디 내가 맞아를 했어. 저기서. 요즘 때디 잠좀 말했어. 근데 다 지하철이야.
Operations like this can't last forever. You either achieve your objective or you don't. And if you don't, you gotta cut it and you know, make a clean cut and walk away. You might be able to, as you leave, give what somebody called a surge funding. You give an extra couple of years worth of funds and say, okay, here, we have to leave you. Goodbye, thank you for all you've done for us. But just to keep you going for a little bit, you know, find some other sources.
When all of a sudden the American government or CIA stopped our program, all of a sudden, then we felt a little bit, we've been deceived. This is what I felt also. And many of my colleagues in Mustang felt. There was no, because I think our usefulness, we felt our usefulness to the CIA is finished, which means they were only thinking for a short term, for their own personal, not for the long-term interests of the Tibetan people as such.